Hi, it's Glenn from the Burnett River Clean. It's the 24th of August. We just had a little downpour of rain. It wasn't a great deal, but you can see in this drain area here, I showed this last week at low tide. You can see the water is coming out of there and the plastics that are getting caught around the trees here and all the way along there. There's just plastics everywhere. It's so hard to explain and so frustrating. I have spoken to the council recently about this, and they tell me that they've got a strategy coming, and maybe they have, but the point is, all this plastic at the moment is going to go to sea. On this side of the pipe, because the tide's high, it's stopping the floating rubbish getting through, exactly like a float trap would do for plastic. Yet they won't give me permission to put one of those in. As soon as this tide drops below this concrete barrier, that will all just run straight under and down there. You can see there, that's a needle container. There's plastics everywhere in amongst that. It's just wrong. A lot of it's rolling down and going underneath and getting through. But you can see the amount of rubbish that's just constantly flowing down. If I stand here and film this, you can see every few meters there'll be a piece of plastic or a piece of foam, and it's so easy to manage it. There's little pieces of foam you can see that are coming down all along there. There's a bigger piece there. There's a piece of plastic. Here comes another piece of foam, and it's just non-stop. There's little bits of plastic everywhere. Here's another piece of plastic, and it just keeps coming and coming. Over here it's getting under. You can see that the tide's a little bit below the barrier here, so it's getting under and running straight down that way. You can see things that actually flowing through. There goes a thong, and a lot of the plastic won't float on the surface. You can see this plastic here that's coming down. There's a lot of foam will float on the surface, but you can see plastic. Let me find one. And they roll a loads of plastic bag there that's about 2 inches under the surface. So if you can picture how much rubbish would actually be rolling along the bottom, and there's another piece of plastic a couple of inches under. They'll come up and they'll go down as they go along. They'll roll up and down in the turbulence of this current. But if I come down here in another half an hour when this water's dropped, that rubbish won't be there. It won't be anywhere to be seen along here. Most of the rubbish that's in the mangroves there is filtered by the mangroves, and it's unfair on everything really. There's a piece there, and it just keeps coming down and then finding its way out of pressure underneath this barrier and getting through. That's only, like I said, filtering the stuff that's floating on the surface high and dry, like this little plastic container here that's coming down really high. It'll stay there. But other plastics will hit it and then roll under and keep on its merry way. So I'll just keep filming for a sec to try to give the people watching an idea of... I've been standing here now for 3 minutes, and I reckon you can get an idea of what's come down so far. It only takes... It would have been raining for 10 minutes. Wasn't heavy. It was reasonable. If you stood in it, you would have got soaked. But it wasn't like torrential. And just shows how much rain can get this water flowing. It doesn't usually flow this hard. So only, 10 minutes of moderate sort of rain has got this water flowing like this. And as it flows, it drags all the plastics, like over there, that have been sitting in the mangroves for the last week or 2 weeks or something. It drags them all out and pulls them down into the main river. So here's another angle. That's the concrete causeway I'm talking about. It's not causeway, it's just like a pipe running through that's been concreted. You can see the water now rushing under it. It's only been a few minutes. So most of that stuff that's built up will flow under soon and escape. But you can see the rubbish here that's coming out of these pipes right underneath where I'm standing. You can't see the rubbish coming out because until the water starts to flow, like drop down a bit, then it'll start rushing out. But you can see the plastics that have built up. And it's pretty sad. It really is. It's just wrong. We've got all these environmentalists around here, and these people starting charities and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know, they don't seem to come out and look at the stuff that really matters. Like, this is bad. If people all get together and put up a fuss, this stuff will be all picked up, but it's just me making a fool of myself to the council and anyone else who will listen to me for a few minutes and then shut the door. This is a back eddy here. The water rushes down there and it'll turn around in a circle, and then stuff will accumulate here, but as it goes back out, it'll hit that current and usually take off again. So yeah, it's pretty much, you can see it's all through. All down there, and it doesn't change. It's just, it's not good. You can see all the plastics that are being filtered in those mangroves over there. They'll stay there while the tide drops. As soon as the tide comes back up again, it will wash that stuff down. There's some pretty easy solutions to stopping this. One is filtering the drains. But that, I just go ignored there. If you Google drain filterage and you see the amount of plastics that some countries filter, and some areas of Australia actually filter, you'd be astounded. And you can see it just keeps coming down. Just bottles, plastic cups, plastic everything. It just keeps coming and coming. And this stuff could have been filtered, but it's not. And this is why I got upset with the council's Storm Strategy Award, Storm Water Strategy Award, or whatever it was, and I questioned it. And this is why, because someone's been given an award, but I don't see anything happening. And I mean, they might need to be a bit more specific. Was the award given for stopping rubbish, or was it given for how drains are built, how pretty they look? I don't know. Maybe they've got a bloke going around getting out shopping trolleys or something, and that they call that an award. Who knows? But in my opinion, it's plastics first that need to come out, not anything else. You know, I can go on and on and on like a broken record, and nothing will ever change until I get enough funding to come down here and be able to clean all this out and then dispose of it at my own costs. And hopefully that will happen soon. Right, I'm back on this concrete block again. You can see the water's dropped a lot now, just in 10 minutes, and half of that is almost through. You can see all those bags and things like that are getting closer and closer to escaping through. You can actually see them moving as I'm filming it, see? Now that the tide's dropping. So all of that is going to get through. That's impossible to clean standing here like this. You know, I could pull out a few of the things here and there, but the amount of stuff that would be under that all caught up in the one pile of palm tree leaves and fronds and things like that is hard to explain, but you can see it. It's just there, and it's starting to find its way under here. And I'm going to film it if I can to show how it all happens. I'll come down in the boat tomorrow and I'll go through all these mangroves, and hopefully this stuff that goes through here will end up filtered on the way, and I'll be able to pick a bit of it up. But you know, a lot of the stuff that's rolling under the surface is definitely not going to be easy to find. Here comes a plastic mat, 2 foam mats. So these things, I'll find those tomorrow, usually. We've got one, this is the last tide, so hopefully I can get this stuff out. Well, I'm not going to get it all out, I'm going to get a bit of it out. But yeah, it's not good. So this finally shows you how quick this water drops. You can see that stuff is starting to make its way through now. And there it goes. And you can see all the plastic coming through just under the surface there as well. There's a handful of bags. So there's little bits of foam that you see coming down every now and then. Doesn't look like much, but when they're coming down every 10 to 20 seconds passing under the bridge, this alone shows you how quickly it builds up if you've got filtration. So that stuff there just came up from the bottom, and look, that was the stuff that was jammed under the thing, and it's gone. But you can see how it's getting filtered into the trees along there. The trees are grabbing bit by bit as it goes along, and the mangroves shouldn't have to be doing that. This part here will maybe take a bit longer to get through because it's got a log under it as well, and a lot of palm fronds, so I don't know how far they go down. But these blue pieces of foam, I saw them down the creek further, so there must be a few of those. Well, here's another one coming now. So there's 3 right in a small section there. So this is a drain in the heart of Bundaberg, and it runs directly into the Burnett River, and the Burnett River runs directly into Hervey Bay, and Hervey Bay covers the southern end of the Barrier Reef. So this water coming out of here basically runs straight out on the Barrier Reef, the southern end to be precise. So it might go north and then end up all over the reef. I think that Bundaberg, out of all the areas along the southern end, has a really big responsibility, like they all do, but Bundaberg has a great responsibility because it has Hervey Bay for one, the southern Barrier Reef, Fraser Island, Lady Elliot and Lady Musgrave, and all this is heading straight out there. And you can see this is now on its way, a container with needles in it. It's going. These are going. There's more of these blue foam mats coming down as well. And like I said, this is only a fraction of rain. Didn't rain that long. It was moderate, but it didn't rain that long. So let's watch what this does. There you go. Anyway, that's enough of that.